the MCU's rebooting, and Kevin Feige hit me up and said, we need you to put up what the universe could look like. And I said, yeah, no problem. I already have three versions, but I'll give you my rough draft, I guess. Save you some time. So the first movie would be an X-Men movie. The second movie would be the Fantastic Four. Third would be Hulk, and that would be the mid-phase finale. And so that means there's 2 more movies left, and the next 2, capping off phase 1, is Spider-Man 1, then Avengers. Now, I know I'll explain why there's no build-up to the Avengers, but first I gotta explain the X-Men movie real quick. The X-Men movie is a political thriller modeled after The Winter Soldier. Fantastic Four is a origin story. I wanted to have a really tight script. It's not being affected by anything going on in these other movies, unless Spider-Man pops up in the next movie. But the first Fantastic Four movie, this is what I mean by that. The first FF movie would tie directly into the second one, and the second one to the third one would still be very, it'd be like the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, but better. No, I'm just playing. It's probably not going to be better, but then we have Hulk, which is going to be another, the government hates superheroes type of movie, but it's going to be a lot more physical with it. It's going to be a lot more the government's really trying to kill Hulk. They're throwing an army at him. The Spider-Man movie would be a little different in tone than the last few MCU Spider-Man movies. It would be year 2, and it would be Spider-Man having doubts about what his uncle was saying with the whole, with what his uncle said and stuff, and he's having doubts about it, and he hasn't fought anyone he hasn't been able to toy around with in the middle of a fight, and it's highlighted his ego, and his ego is highlighted by Kraven trying to fight him, and Kraven, like the Ultimate Comics, is a not YouTube, that's crazy, a TV show personality that hunts, he hunts in the wild, and he's good at hunting, but Spider-Man can lift a building, and so he easily, takes him down. Meanwhile, Spider-Man is taking down, poor bank robbers. Flint Marko and whatever the Rhino's name is before he gets turned into that thing, is robbing a bank, and he stops them, and it seems like it's just random occurrences, but then Kraven puts together a little deal for Flint Marko and Sandman, Sandman and the Rhino, and Kraven says he can make them as strong as a animal, or as strong as the elements themselves, and he convinces them with a lot of money to undergo experimentation to then become Sandman and the Rhino. And then we will have a Sinister 3 face-off against Spider-Man. And Kraven wouldn't best him with physicality, bruh. He'd best him with his strategies, with his tactics, with his mind. And Peter would get outplayed, but he'd also be physically outmatched with the Rhino and the Sandman in just his second year being Spider-Man. So he has to combine his intellect, his spider sense, and a little bit of luck to even pull out with his own life in the final battle that is fully booby-trapped, rigged by Kraven the Hunter. And they say, we'll be back, and we'll make sure to catch you next time. So, it's kind of like just like an episode. It's like an episode in Spider-Man's life, and it's not really it is a movie. It's like an hour, 40 minutes long, but it's really just trying out this new version of Spider-Man, and if Sony don't like it, then we're cooked. I also forgot to mention that Dr. Osborn is just a weird, friend's dad to Peter and nothing else. At the beginning of the movie, but then he slowly devolves and his company is slowly destroyed and picked at by vultures. And Dr. Connors would be like a mentor figure to Peter, and he'd kind of reinforce that Uncle Ben role of being like, because he's having doubts about with great power comes great responsibility and the whole mindset of it. And Dr. Connors is there to be like, oh man, nah, you gotta lock in, and you gotta control yourself, and you gotta do all this stuff. And he kind of, foreshadowing. And so that's two villains. You'll see who the sixth one is in the next Spider-Man movie.